All right. Welcome back to the Hog Line Podcast, episode 34. Was it 30, 33?
33, 34, one of them. Either way,
all right.
you're listening to the Hog
Yeah,
Line
today,
Podcast.
fortunately, Mitchell's not here, and I'm joined by Skylar Brackman.
Hello.
We played basketball with this guy yesterday. Called him Skylar, and it was funny.
Very funny. Yeah, Skylar.
Tyler is in the building, and we're going to discuss the NFL draft that just happened, in case you didn't know.
Fun stuff.
Yeah. We're going to basically just walk through the first round and just give our overall opinion on each team's, all their draft selections. Yeah, so I guess we'll just get started. With 1.01, the Arizona Cardinals select Kyler Murray out of Oklahoma. Initial thoughts? You wanna get it going?
Yeah, I guess I should here. Kyler Murray, Oklahoma, second straight year an Oklahoma quarterback.
Yeah,
has been selected number one.
That's definitely the first time ever.
Yeah, very very interesting indeed. I like him a little more than I liked Baker last year, but I was definitely low on Baker, admittedly. So excited to see how Kyler does. Cardinals overall, I really do like their draft. They drafted 3 different wideouts.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, let's check that out.
Was good for the whole team. Yeah, they had a lot of draft capital. 11 picks total. I'm not huge on Kyler, but I think their biggest concern is that it's pretty much the same O-line as last year. As far as I know, they traded with the Steelers. They got Marcus Gilbert, who he's really not that great. They gave us a 6th for him, but he's dealt with a lot of injury. But I'm pretty sure they've kept the same O-line, which is the reason why Rosen struggled so much. However, they did draft a handful of wide receivers for Kyler to throw to. They got Andy Isabella in the 2nd, Hakeem Butler in the 4th, Keyshawn Johnson in the 6th. So that gives them weapons, which Rosen didn't have last year. But I still really like Rosen. And, I mean, they traded – I don't remember what the trade was. They
got a 2nd for him. I'm not sure if it was this year's 2nd.
Okay.
It could have been that pick that Andy Isabella ended up being.
Okay.
Not sure. Either way, 3 different wideouts. Hakeem Butler is really good. I liked him. And Andy Isabella. I would have expected them to go with more of like an offensive line based draft, but you can never really downplay drafting the best player available. Kyler isn't going to need as good of a line as Rosen would have because the schemes are just different. Being
True.
A pocket passer guy as opposed to the West Coast offense, they'll probably run where Kyler just have more freedom, do stuff outside of the pocket, extend plays, where Rosen was really trying to go back, get to his number 1 wideout, maybe his number 2.
Yeah.
And hopefully David Johnson gets back to David Johnson form because,
True.
and I think he will. But that's definitely going to help Kyler out.
I was just looking at their depth chart. I mean, they drafted Byron Murphy and Deontay Thompson. That's great for their pieces for their secondary. Trying to see what they got going on in their D line in the middle. They got Jordan Hicks.
They're trying. There was rumors they were trying to trade Patrick Peterson. I was really hoping that the Eagles made a move on that, but they didn't, and nobody apparently did because he's still in Arizona.
Yeah, so that's two great. Byron Murphy's gonna be a great safety, and Patrick Peterson already is a great safety, and they added Deontay Thompson, and they got DJ Swearinger. So this is
Chandler Jones is a beast. Chandler Jones is a monster. So, and they got Terrell Suggs. Kind of forgot about that. Their defense is Jordan Hicks. So they signed
shape up to be pretty solid defense.
They signed a lot of guys. So,
yeah, who knows what to expect of them this year?
They could be one of those teams that just bounces back. You know, a lot of young players.
Kevin White, he's alive.
Kevin White, yeah, he's alive.
When was the last time he played?
Oh my God, who knows?
Yeah. So
overall,
I'd say solid draft.
Yeah, I'd say very positive feelings moving forward for the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, I feel like their division's tough. Well, okay, the Rams are probably gonna win it.
Yeah, I mean they're definitely gonna put up a good fight.
Seahawks. Who
Seahawks, I would expect.
Oh, the Niners. Yeah, I mean that division is just kind of like
everybody's trending up.
Yeah, it's tough to come out of the bottom, like to come out on top from the bottom of that division. So
it should be interesting.
good
NFC
draft,
is so
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
All right, number 2. Nick
what
Bosa.
happened to my thing?
Just back out.
Okay, I just got to re-pull this up. Anyway, we'll talk about Nick Bosa, in the Niners. Wait, where'd this go? I just had a whole list of the first rounds.
Nick Bosa, Joey Bosa brother.
Yeah.
So he's got the family tree line going through the NFL. Doesn't hurt. His dad was first round pick.
And his uncle was. So I mean, yeah, the genes in the Bosa family is good genes.
Good genes to have. I mean, I was I think it does kind of help his value that he didn't play in the second half of or even really half of the Ohio State season, just because.
Yeah, he only played 3 games. I think
3 games. All right, then not even half. Yeah, so, I mean, I think that's a good thing. Some football players, it takes a while for you to know whether or not, by the time they get into the league, if they're going to be good or not. He's obviously a guy who's got the family past in the NFL, so there's already one reason to know he's going to turn out. And from his perspective as a football player, he wants to keep his body healthy, and I think that's definitely one positive in drafting him, number 2. And I'm sure the San Fran's really happy they got him.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just gonna pull up the rest of the Niners draft picks if my computer allows me. All right, so the Niners, they went Bosa. Oh, Deebo Samuel out of South Carolina.
Nice. He's nice.
Yeah, so that adds another weapon for Garoppolo. So they got Goodwin still, Dante Pettis they drafted last year, and Deebo Samuel. That could be a solid receiving core.
He was very undervalued coming into this draft. He was very good. The kind of guy who can make you miss. You can go up and get the ball. I thought him and N'Keal Harry were kind of similar, but Deebo Samuel definitely got drafted in a good spot. It's the 4th pick in the 2nd round. That's pretty high.
Yeah.
I don't know how that. I think that's maybe the 3rd wide receiver taken after N'Keal and Marquise Brown.
Yes, I think so.
So that's a good.
Yeah,
it's good for Deebo, and well deserved.
Yeah, they've got Jalen Hurd, another receiver out of Baylor, another weapon. Tight end Caden Smith. I've heard that name. Yeah, he's from Stanford. I don't know how much of a pass catcher he is. Yeah, he is a pass catcher. All right, that's good. So yeah, this team kind of similar to the Cardinals. Just obviously both had bad years. But both teams have something to look forward to this year, and they can turn out opposite of what they're at now. So
yeah, it's going to be interesting just to see Garoppolo.
Yeah,
just because the way his season ended last year was such a bummer, going out on the sideline like that and tearing his ACL. I mean, it's very interesting. The last, the 1st and 2nd overall teams drafting in this year's draft, and the 3rd with the Jets, they could all be really good.
True.
Really bounce right back. But guys, teams like the Raiders, who we'll get to. Maybe
we'll
not.
see. Well, I guess we'll go into the Jets now. They drafted defensive tackle Quinnen Williams out of Alabama. He looks like he's like 12.
He does look 12.
Well, he's got braces.
He's got the braces. He's got a young face. He looks like he's a good guy. I like the video where he sneezed and said bless you and thank you to himself. He's got manners. Check that off.
Yeah.
A lot of dudes had him number 1, which is kind of crazy. But, I mean, I didn't watch a whole lot of tape on him. And, you can't never really go wrong with a defensive tackle out of Alabama. He's very quick. It says quick on his feet. I know he's quick on his feet. I don't know much about him, to be completely honest, but so many people
Mitchell
really
loves
high
him.
on
Mitchell thinks he's the best player in this draft. I mean, if you read what I posted about, I think Ed Oliver's better. But, I mean, most people definitely have Quinnen Williams ranked ahead of Ed Oliver as the best defensive tackle in this draft. This is a pretty safe pick. You can't go wrong drafting Quinnen Williams. And at the spot the Jets were at, it's appropriate to draft him there. it was pretty much a no-brainer. Like everyone expected Kyler to go off first, and then
Mm-hmm.
Bosa second, and then Quentin Williams third of the Jets. So good pick there. Third round, they didn't have a second. I don't know why.
Not quite sure why either.
They got Ja'Kai Polite. I'm pretty sure that's how you say it, out of
Mm-hmm.
Florida. He's also a solid player.
Defensive end.
Yeah, out of I said Florida. He'll add to their they I know the Jets wanted to get after the quarterback more. He'll definitely help them out there, since they didn't draft one of the edge rushers in the first round. But Quentin Williams also gets the quarterback too, along with stopping the run, so that'll be good for their defense. I mean, their defense is also, like we
CJ
said about
Mosley. They signed CJ Mosley.
like we said about the Cardinals, their defense is kind of shaping up. I mean, I guess we could say led by their safety Jamal Adams, who's maybe the best in the league.
Yeah, he's a beast.
And then they drafted these pieces up front, so I mean that's a good core to their defense. Offensively, they didn't draft a wide receiver.
No,
which is
no wideouts.
Kind of interesting.
They do have a lot of just average guys.
They
I feel
do,
like.
yeah.
So,
they got Robbie Anderson and is Anuma back.
Mm-hmm. Noon was probably back.
And I'm missing someone. I know they got someone. I'll try to look, but and obviously they added Le'Veon and Darnold last year, so this is another team. As we said, similar to the previous Niners and Cardinals, that could kind of turn around and not be a bottom 3 team in the league. I'm just gonna look up. See, I know they signed some receiver.
Oh, Jamison Crowder.
Crowder, yeah. So he's a
Okay.
good slot receiver. Yeah, who knows about we got a tight end. Chris Herndon.
Yeah, he was a rookie last year.
Yeah, so it's tough to compete with the Pats in their division, but
that division should be on the up and
yeah.
up. I mean, all young quarterbacks now. It's so interesting. All from last year's draft. And Tom
true,
Brady.
yeah.
So yeah, Josh Rosen, Sam Darnold.
That's interesting.
And Josh Allen.
I guess we'll go
move on to the Oakland Raiders.
Yeah, so they drafted, to much surprise by everyone, defensive end out of Clemson, Clelin Ferrell. So I think he's good. But to get him at 4, I thought was a big reach, and everyone thought it was a big reach, and he would have been there with one of their if they liked him so much, they could have gotten him at 24 or 27.
Who? This guy?
Yeah.
So you think he'd fall that far?
He could have fell in the 20s. Some mocks had him in the second round.
Whoa.
So that's a pretty big reach to get him there. I still think he's going to be good. I would, like everyone else, a lot of other people, I've had a lot of edge rushers ahead of him, like Josh Allen and Rashawn Gary. I mean, this is a loaded draft, so I mean, I guess Mayock really and Gruden saw something out of Clelin Ferrell that they loved, and they felt the need to reach on him.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why they sent all their scouts home, right? So, yeah, if they liked him, then you got to go out and get him. It's, these are the kind of moves that prove, you got to take responsibility for these kind of moves. So if he doesn't turn out, then the front office has to pay. So
yeah.
They had 3 first-rounders. They got Josh Jacobs with another one of them. They told him they were going to take him there. I mean, was he that much better than any other running back in this draft? I don't think so.
Yeah.
He could catch the ball. I'm like, congrats. Like, I think a lot of guys can learn how to do that at the NFL level. He wasn't that much better than everyone else. I think the Raiders, it's kind of a normie thing to do to, rag on the Raiders, but it's kind of tough to see what they were doing in this first round.
I mean, not like Jacobs. I don't know. I mean, they could have gotten
Sweat.
Yeah,
Montez Sweat. I would have rather had.
They had 2.04. They had their early second rounder too. So I mean they.
Yeah, they didn't have to spend their.
I feel like Jacobs could have gotten
first
it
after
in the second. Yeah.
On Jacobs, but
yeah.
I mean, Raiders are interesting. John Gruden, the Raiders. It's always fun. It's more of a TV show than anything. Marshawn Lynch is gone, which is really sad.
Yeah.
Derek Carr, I guess, is going to be the quarterback. That we weren't even that sure of that going into this draft. Yeah. So, I mean, it could be another year in the toilet for the Raiders. Not something I'm excited about because I do like the Raiders. But
yeah.
it's very interesting that they trade Khalil Mack for picks to then try and get another Khalil Mack. It doesn't really quite make a lot of sense. We'll see if Farrell turns out to be that guy.
Yeah, they definitely needed, and they wanted someone to get after the quarterback. They only had 13 sacks last year, I think. Yeah, I think they had 13 sacks and terrible against the run, so they needed a Khalil Mack type player.
Defensive line.
Which who knows, maybe Clelin Ferrell can turn into that, but yeah, I guess they added Hunter Renfrow, wide receiver out of Clemson, late with the 5th rounds, and then
National
they drafted
championship
tight end Foster Moreau at OSU. I don't think he's a pass catching. He's more of a I'm correct. Okay, so he's more of a blocking tight end, which I mean kind of makes sense. I mean their target leader last year was Jared Cook. Now he's gone in New Orleans, but obviously their targets are going to go to Brown and Tyrell Williams primarily this year. So I guess they couldn't draft a pass catching tight end to fill the void of Cook because they can only target so many guys. It's kind of a questionable overall for the Raiders draft. I mean, who knows? I mean, Mayock is. I'd like to think he is an expert in the field.
He's an analyst.
Yeah, so I don't know.
This'll be one of his drafts that a lot of people will grade him on. If he does well, then he'll get a lot of praise. If he does poorly, then I'm sure they might be making changes. But who knows, man? They should be in Vegas by now, and they're not. So
yeah,
this Raiders organization, you never really quite know.
True. I guess we'll move on to the Bucks. They draft inside linebacker Devin White out of LSU. He's a really safe pick. Devin White's I think, gonna be a really good NFL player.
Yeah, he's a monster.
Yeah, he's great style on the sideline, speed. Just overall, just an ideal linebacker prospect.
Yeah, any defensive guy coming out of LSU kind of has like a 50-50 shot of just being a beast anyway. So
true.
And he was a tank in the middle of their defense. There aren't many linebackers that you can, draft with much certainty, just because the position nowadays, I mean, it's just kind of like safety hybrids. Like,
yeah,
it's tough to really find and know when you're getting a good one. Obviously, the Bucks did get one here.
Yeah, I think looking at their draft overall, invested a lot in their defense, which their defense isn't great. They got Sean Bunting out of Central Michigan, cornerback, and Jamel Dean, cornerback out of Auburn. And then that was in the third round. Another third rounder, they got Mike Edwards, safety out of Kentucky. 4th rounder, Anthony Nelson, I do know the name, defensive end out of Iowa. And then they went kicker. But their first 5 picks, all in their defense. And I mean, the Bucks in general, they just had a lot of holes all over the place.
So why not just patch up the whole defense now?
Yeah, and then I guess go for I mean, let's see. Though they got actually the biggest question mark I thought they were going to get a running back. I guess they still have faith in Ronald Jones, and they have Peyton Barber still, I think, right?
Yep.
I don't know who else they have in their backfield, so I guess they're fine with that. They didn't draft any O linemen, so their rushing attack, I don't know how great that's gonna turn out this year. They got solid receivers. They did draft, who's this guy? I don't.
Scott Miller.
Scott Miller from Bowling Green.
I'm not quite sure how he'll turn out, but
yeah, they got Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, and then O.J. Howard and Cameron Brate at their tight ends. So they have some solid guys to go to. Yeah, I guess overall looking at the Bucks, I'd say next year, if Ronald Jones and Barber don't pan out, go for a running back and invest in the O-line in next year's draft or through free agency. And if these defensive guys turn out to be good, then I mean that's just I guess you got to. I don't know. I mean they're in a tough division, so just who knows? But
yeah, I agree. I think that's a good strategy.
So I guess we'll move on to one of the biggest talking points of this draft. The Giants select quarterback Daniel Jones at 6.
Very interesting decision.
Yeah.
A lot of words have been spread that the Manning brothers and the Manning family had something to do with this pick, sending good intel in. I think he was under a coach that they were also really close to, so a lot of things with this pick annoy me. Mainly being that I don't think Daniel Jones was a top 10 player. I don't think a lot of analysts had him in the first round. But I mean, I thought with the amount of picks they had, having number 17 overall in the draft, that's a spot where you could have likely got him or hopped over the Redskins, who were one pick ahead of you,
Yeah.
to get him. So they could have gotten so many other game changers like Josh Allen, like Ed Oliver, but they decided to go with the quarterback. So again, if these GMs see an opportunity to take a player they like, and they think he's going to be all that, you got to go for it. But all these picks don't turn out, so
Yeah.
somebody's going to have to take take it for these picks. And I just think Daniel Jones is the guy they could have waited on. Last year they had their opportunity for a quarterback. They opted to take Saquon Barkley. Not a bad decision, but just a strange decision. So we'll see
Yeah.
what happens.
It is odd, but I guess they see something in him. If I were the Giants, I would have personally. I mean, what do I know? I'm not a GM, but I would have gone Ed Oliver or some kind of defensive force at their 6th pick, 17th pick, drafted an O-line,
Mhm.
and then just would have stacked primarily defense and O-line throughout the rest of the draft. And then this year, have Eli play out this year, probably not play well. The Giants probably don't have a good record, get a solid pick next year. And then next year, the draft class for quarterback to me a lot better. That's when you get your franchise quarterback. And then you roll with him, the O-line you drafted this year, Saquon, and the defense you built this year. But I mean, defensively, I think they drafted pretty well defensively. Dexter Lawrence out of Clemson, they got their 17th pick. DeAndre Baker, they traded into the first round to get him, cornerback out of Georgia. 2 great picks. Julian Love, they got in the 4th round. He fell. I love Julian Love, Notre Dame's all-time pass. What's the word? Deflection leader.
Oh, okay. Wow.
But he was the unsung hero of the Notre Dame defense this year, and I love Julian Love. He shouldn't have fallen to the 4th round, in my opinion. So they got Baker and Love at their corner. That's going to be solid. That's going to be really solid.
Yeah, well, after taking Jones, they went defense. Yeah,
well, and then they went
receiver,
Darius
defense.
Slayton out of Auburn, a receiver. So I mean that could the receivers, Golden Tate, Shepard. Who else out of that? I can't think on the top of my head, but
I have no idea. It's a shame. Modell's gone.
Yeah, but very surprised they didn't draft. They drafted one offensive lineman, a guard out of Kentucky. No chance I can say this name. George Asafo Adjei. Sorry, George, if I didn't say it right. But he, 7th round offensive guard is not ideal as your only offensive line pick for a team that doesn't have a great offensive line, and you have a top 2 running back.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, and you got to protect Daniel Jones for the future too. So
they drafted a lot for need.
True. Yeah. So I guess that's that for the Giants. We'll move on to the Jags at 7. They go I guess I thought it was defensive, and it's kind of the same thing depending on the scheme.
Outside linebacker.
Josh Allen, outside linebacker out of Kentucky. So this pick kind of fell to them. With he could have been a top 3 pick. But with the Raiders taking Farrell, and then the Giants taking Daniel Jones, Josh Allen kind of fell in their laps at 7. It was pretty much the no-brainer pick for them. It's already on a good defense. Adding him is going to be even better. Let's go to their what they did. Let's look at their overall.
Oh yeah, their overall drafts. Well, here we go. I mean, it's great for Josh Allen to fall to them. Keep Jacksonville intact.
Yeah.
Jawan Taylor in the 2nd round. He was a guy that a lot of people thought would go in the 1st round as a tackle.
Yeah, he fell.
So that's good value. You would expect. So, Nicky Foles going to have Jawan Taylor blocking for him most likely. Josh Allen, he's going to plug in and do very well for them. Josh Oliver, a tight end, the third round, another third round pick, Quincy Williams, safety, Raquel Armstead at a Temple.
Yeah. So what's their backfield situation looking now? They obviously got Fournette.
Mm-hmm.
They're adding Raquel Armstead, and they don't have Carlos Hyde. He's on the Chiefs now, right?
Yes.
They have T.J. Yeldon still.
I think they should still have T.J. Yeldon.
Now.
No, I guess not. I don't know where he
Alfred
went.
Blue, Thomas Rawls,
Wow.
Benny Cunningham.
Ugh.
Wow, okay. So this is a interesting backfield. I guess they still have.
It is.
I mean, Fournette, he's a good running back, but he's pretty injury prone. We saw his past 2 years.
Yes.
Not much for a pass catcher as well. I think Armstead he's a smaller guy. He can catch pass. Or okay, he's 5'11", not that small. So yeah, we'll see. I obviously Fournette's going to be their workhorse back. Where did Yeldon go?
It beats me. I didn't know he left.
Yeah. So Benny Cunningham, I'm pretty sure. If your name's Benny Cunningham, that's just like you got to be small. You got to be like 5'7".
You got to be quick.
So we'll see how it'll be interesting to see how this backfield shapes up. Fournette's going to be the number 1, but the number 2 is pretty much up for grabs. And this number 2 can like make a fantasy impact based because Fournette could go down. It's likely, not likely, but it's
down. At some point in the season.
He could go down.
He even got suspended last year from his own team. So,
or suspension.
It's rough.
So yeah, the RB2 out of Jacksonville, someone to look out for, which could potentially be Raquel Armstead. Overall solid. I mean, not much I could say about this draft. The
Bills got TJ.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Very interesting backfield there with Frank Gore and Sean McCoy.
It's all over the place.
But yeah, the Jags should be much better next year. They weren't great this year.
Out of nowhere, I don't know. I mean,
Blake Bortles. It's kind of it.
Yeah.
And I mean, they defense can't win you all the games. Defense wins championships if you have a good offense. So,
Yeah, or at least like a decent offense. Like the a Bortles-led offense can't last you very long.
No, I mean,
yeah.
We'll see what Nick Foles can do with them.
All right, so moving on to the Lions at pick 8, they got tight end out of Iowa, T.J. Hawkinson. Interesting pick here. Interesting. I
didn't think he'd go that high.
Yeah, he went pretty high.
To go over Ed Oliver, I find a little strange. I know you were very big on him.
Oliver there.
So I mean,
with the Lions.
But the Lions always like to do things a little little off. So I mean, Eric Ebron was the guy that they took very early a couple of years ago, and obviously he moved on and did so much better without them. So maybe we'll have to wait a couple of years for T.J. Hawkinson to really churn out some value on a different team. But
traditionally, at least from fantasy perspective, first-year tight ends don't produce. So maybe it will take a year or two. But I mean, this guy, for all the reports I read, he's supposed to be like the next Gronk kind of guy.
He had some great tape.
Yes, but in a
very interesting to go number 8 overall, though.
Right, to a team that traditionally doesn't use a tight end at a high usage rate in the past. So I guess we'll see if they adapt to this new tight end. Obviously he's a talented player. What I thought was weird, though, they signed Jesse James. Annoying from a Jesse James dynasty holder, but they signed Jesse James.
It's one of the many problems.
Yeah, they signed Jesse James. Not the huge contract. I think they gave him like $4 million. I could be wrong. And then they draft a tight end first round, and they got another tight end I think later. Yeah,
in the 7th round
out of Isaac Nauta out of Georgia. I just don't get why they drafted 2 tight ends in addition to signing Jesse James to a team that doesn't use their tight end that much in the passing game. Like I don't know, that doesn't make sense to me.
Sometimes some guys have T.J. Hawkinson that high on their board. Like that's what I found strange. Just think he was better. He was going to be more productive or impactful over games. I just don't think so.
Yeah,
for a guy named Ed Oliver, who we should probably get going on.
Yeah. So then number 9, Buffalo Bills select defensive tackle Ed Oliver. I mean, everybody knows I love Ed Oliver. If you read my article about him, any thoughts on your thoughts on Oliver?
No, I think you've said everything there is to be said. But no, he is a beast. Very good for the Bills. You know, I mean, good for the Bills. Ed Oliver. I didn't see much about him, but out of Houston,
Yeah.
giving some cred to the big whatever conference that is with Temple.
AAC.
AAC. There we go.
Yeah. They got second round. They got Cody Ford, offensive tackle at Oklahoma. Cody Ford is a solid piece to that O line. I know their O line has struggled. And then they add in the third round Devin Singletary, FAU, running back. He's like 5'7", right? He's small, 5'8".
Wow.
So this backfield, I'm gonna look up. Let's just try to think of who they got.
Cody Ford, that was a good pick. A lot of guys had him going.
I know they have still McCoy. They had Chris Ivory. I don't remember. I think
Man.
I don't know if he's still there. Here we got McCoy, Frank Gore. They signed. TJ Yeldon. We just discovered they have, and Devin Singletary. So this is just an interesting backfield. TJ Yeldon's not.
It's not bad. He's a very neutral player.
Age-wise, where's he at?
Oh, I think he's like
25.
He's not very old.
Not that old.
He's definitely, the youngest in that backfield. But
yeah. Yeah, interesting backfield they got going on. Their offensive line, as I said before, their offensive line hasn't been great the past 2 years, but adding Cody Ford could make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Still, I don't think they got a receiver, did they?
Nope. No, I mean, they added a tight end in the last round there, but...
And the two tight ends.
Oh, two tight ends.
Dawson Knox out of Ole Miss in the third, and Tommy Sweeney out of Boston College in the seventh. Where are we at? Bills. What receivers? Yeah, they got John Brown. That's right. Brown. We'll see what happens there.
Their offense should be a little better. I mean,
yeah.
I hope they do better. Their defense always seems to put up a good fight. So
yeah, true.
And then Oliver should help for the next couple of years coming up.
So interesting to see how the Bills, how they do this year. Where are we at? Let's go back. Here we go. So the 10th pick, the Steelers trade into the trade with the Broncos to get their 10th pick, and the Steelers gave up their this year's second rounder and next year's third rounder.
Okay.
I love the trade a lot. To move up 10 picks in the first round and not give up a future first is great. I mean, as we
move into the top 10 technically.
Yeah, move up 10 picks into the top 10. And not give up a future first rounder is great because like we saw with the Trubisky trade or what the Niners and the Bears did. Mm-hmm. The Bears moved up one spot to get Trubisky and gave up a first the next year
and I think a second
or something. Yeah, they gave up a lot to one pick. So yeah, I like the move as a Steelers fan. Devin Bush is really what the Steelers need. Inside linebacker out of Michigan. He's insanely quick and athletic. And obviously we need a guy like this. Ever since Shazier was down, he's gonna fill that void that we needed. I wrote down the stat I looked up before. In 2017 with Shazier, before he got injured, Steelers defense averaged 17.75 points against per game. Mm-hmm. Without Shazier, after he went down at the end of 2017 and all of last year, averaged 25.23 points per game against. So that over a whole touchdown is this difference that Shazier made. And I mean, watching them every week so closely, it's like the middle of the field. Like Shazier knew how to run down a running back from side to sideline. Like I loved it. I love watching him play, and I really hope, and I think he will. Devin Bush can be that guy for us next year, and can make a difference for us. Let's just go look at what they did overall. I mean, I kind of know, but
I haven't seen so. Let's see.
So overall, I like what they did.
Deontay Johnson, he's good.
Yeah, I didn't know much about Deontay Johnson before the draft, but I mean, historically with the Steelers, I trust we're gonna make our receivers good. Mm-hmm. And I guess we see something in him at wide receiver at Toledo. Justin Lane, I like him. He's a corner out of Michigan State, and that's another team need. Our secondary is pretty weak. Fourth round, we go Benny Snell. It's Benny Snell. He could be a solid running back. I just don't like that we drafted because we drafted a running back in the first round. Not that was wrong, and we just drafted a running back for the past 3 drafts. We've gotten a running back because we went Connor 2 years ago in the 3rd round. Jalen Samuels, I don't remember which round we got him last year, and now we got Benny Snell. Which I mean, I guess I like our young running back core, but I feel like that was just kind of a waste of a 4th rounder. Like, how many carries is Benny Snell really gonna get? Like, I don't think
there's a chance he doesn't get much.
Right, like the Steelers historically don't split time between running backs, and now we got 3 young ones, so kind of questionable in my opinion there. 5th round, Zach Gentry. I still don't know if it's Gentry or Gentry. That's because I guess we let Jesse James go. He's not much of a pass catching tight end as far as I know. And then other than that, we got a couple of defensive guys. And yeah, last round we drafted an O-line. So overall, I can't be mad, except the only thing that I wish we did, we got a safety. I wish we got a safety because Sean Davis is our one safety. He's young. I didn't like him originally, but he's grown on me. I mean, I'm kind of too hard on him, but I feel a lot of people like him more than I do. So like he's fine at one safety. Last year we got Terrell Edmonds, which was a big reach in the first round, and he really didn't have a great year last year. So I guess the verdict's still out on him, and Tomlin still believes in Edmonds. But safety is where we're going to struggle this year if we do struggle defensively. So, but overall, I like it. I don't know if you have any thoughts on it, but
no, I mean, Devin Bush is a good pick. I think that's sums up a lot of the draft. He's definitely a great player, and to get him for a first, moving down, they give up 20 at second and a third, so that's definitely worth it for a guy who's going to produce. DeAndre Johnson, good wide receiver, and you can never really blame the Steelers for taking a wide receiver because they've seemed to really have a great success rate for wide receivers over the past couple of years.
Yep. So we'll go on to the Bengals. Oh, speaking of which, I mean, we traded into the first round, and it was all signs were looking that the Bengals were trying to get Devin Bush for the 11th pick. So I guess why we went to 10. But instead, they go with offensive tackle out of Alabama, Jonah Williams. We'll just look at what they
tackle taken in the draft.
That's true. Yeah.
So that hopefully he turns out to be really good for them.
We'll see what they look like. They did overall. A lot of picks they got here. All right, so they went O-line the first, Drew Sample and tight end the second. They really need to replace Eifert at this point. The poor guy can't stay healthy. And then they went NC State outside linebacker Jermaine Pratt. They drafted quarterback Ryan Finley out of NC State in the 4th round. Could be the predecessor to Andy Dalton, who hasn't seemed to bring them much success over his career the past few years.
Is this the first year after Marvin Jones, though? Like, he was fired this offseason, correct?
Yeah.
So, this is a brand new franchise. So
true. Yeah, maybe Andy Dalton is out the door. I wouldn't be too surprised if we see Ryan Finley starting some games by the end of the season when they're out of it.
Definitely could happen.
Yeah, I mean, not too exciting. Oh, they go Rodney Harrison. That's just a name I knew. Except they got Nixon, so.
And a guy named Michael Jordan.
That's true, yeah.
So they're just drafting really cool names.
You got 2 running backs. Trayvon Williams in the 6th round, and then Rodney Anderson in the 6th again.
Wow, Rodney Anderson went really low.
Yeah, kind of questionable when they're pretty set at running back with Nixon, and they have a lot of other needs. Like their defense is not good at all. Their O-line probably isn't great either. Okay, they drafted 2 O-linemen. They didn't draft any receivers, did they? Yes, because they're pretty solid at receivers. They got AJ Green still, and then Tyler Boyd had a great year last year, and then John Ross could be good. We'll see. I guess not too much excitement out of the Bengals draft. I guess we'll just move on to the Packers. With their first rounder, they go Rashawn Gary, defensive end out of Michigan, which he kind of fell to them. A lot of mocks had him going even top 5. It's
a great Michigan defense.
Yeah, earlier. That's true. Yeah, 2 Michigan defensive players went in the top 12. So That's I know they had 2 first rounders, and then in the second first rounder they had, which was like 20th, I
Mm-hmm.
think. They go Darnell Savage, safety out of Maryland, which I've seen some highlights of him. He's good.
They really have to
Um,
bulk up that defense and.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, it's smart. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they got 2 pieces for their defense, and then their offense is pretty solid. Obviously, Rodgers and Adams, they have playmakers, and then Aaron Jones turned out to be a decent running back.
Mm-hmm.
Dexter Williams, they drafted in the 6th round, Notre Dame. He could be a solid addition to their backfield. I don't know if they didn't even draft any O linemen. I don't know much about their O line.
It's possible they signed a couple guys
That's true.
like
So
unsigned or undrafted guys, but
yeah,
yeah, I don't know. I feel like they definitely need to bolster up that defense, help Aaron Rodgers
yeah,
get onto the field. Yeah, I mean, Packers. A lot of teams thought, or a lot of dudes thought they were gonna take DK Metcalf with the 12th pick.
yeah,
I think Rashawn Gary should probably definitely be a better pick. And they had 3 opportunities to take him, so
yeah,
they had the second, or they had the 12th pick in the second round, so they had an opportunity to take him again, and they didn't. So, I guess they're not really that concerned about their weapons as they
yeah.
are
Because
the defense, which
they have
I
obviously
agree.
Adams. And then last year they drafted Marquez Valdez-Scantling and Equanimous St. Brown. So I guess they're pretty content there. We'll move on to the Dolphins. They draft defensive tackle out of Clemson, Christian Wilkins. This Clemson defensive line, how many went in the first round? I feel like
I think it was 3.
Colin Farrell, Dexter Lawrence at 17, and then Christian Wilkins. I think that was it for them. But yeah, I mean, this Clemson defense really showing out in the draft here.
Mm-hmm.
So Christian Wilkins, picked by the Dolphins. I can't believe they had the 13th pick because they seem like they're terrible.
I know, yeah. They're in one of those tweener situations where.
Yeah, and I think they could. Well, okay. Well, the biggest news is that they got Rosen.
Mm-hmm.
Smart by them. I think Rosen could be good. With an O line, so they drafted 2 O linemen. Yeah, he didn't. He really struggled last year because the Cardinals had a terrible O line, and I think that's really what's holding him back. He's going to be good. Except similar to Arizona, he really doesn't have that many weapons to throw to here. For the Dolphins,
Yeah, it's a rough offense, but I mean
yeah,
they're building up. They're definitely in a rebuild mode.
yeah,
This is a team I would have thought would have had a top 5 pick, not like the Cardinals or.
yeah,
But no, I feel like that's why a lot of those teams are gonna bounce back and do really well. So.
yep,
Yeah, Miami. It's not looking like a great season ahead. Josh Rosen, Josh Rosen should be under some fire.
yeah,
I guess. I mean, from the opposing defenses. But Miami, they're in a tough division. Buffalo, and the Jets will be fighting for wins. With the Patriots dominating that division every year.
yeah,
So. It's a tough situation to be in, and they just gotta hope that Christian Wilkins, is the player that they hope he is.
true,
So everything else they just gotta draft best player available and hope that things turn around in time. And Adam Gase leaving, I think, is probably the best,
yeah,
even though he got rid of so many other best playmakers on the offensive side. Ajay now is not a valuable asset, so. I guess he was right there, but getting rid of Jarvis Landry seemed a little unnecessary.
yeah,
But it's clear they're in rebuilding mode now. So let's see if Rosen's the guy. That's all you
yeah.
can say for the Miami Dolphins.
True, yeah, not really too much of an exciting team. We'll move on to the Falcons at 14. They go offensive guard at Boston College, Chris Lindstrom,
Mhm.
which I really like him. First guard taken, I believe.
First guard taken.
Yes. Yeah, he's gonna be a good addition to this O line.
Mhm.
Let's go to the how they did over. Oh, they're probably up
I
here.
did like what's Atlanta's
Atlanta.
draft overall.
I did too. Yeah.
They definitely bolstered up.
Yeah, so they traded back into the first round, get Caleb McGarry, offensive tackle out of Washington. So I know in the offseason they signed 2 O linemen. I forget who,
So
but
they really went
they're
after
really
linemen.
they're beefing up this O line, which Matt Ryan really needs. He's under pressure a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And
More of
then,
like a Josh Rosen kind of guy, who needs a pocket to throw the
true,
ball in. So
definitely
makes sense. I mean, it's good. It's a good move from the Falcons.
Yeah, and it's gonna help their run game too. Devonta Freeman, he's small. I don't think he's not good with contact in my opinion. So I mean,
not much of a passing blocker.
Yeah, so clearing holes for him is key. And then they I keep saying that. They draft Quadre Olson, running back out of Pittsburgh. I watch him every week. I love Quadre. They need him to replace the Tevin Coleman role. I mean, they know they have Ito Smith, so it's going to be the three-headed monster of Freeman, Ito, Quadre.
They drafted another cornerback, so the secondary definitely has a spot on their team they needed to address. So
yeah, but the Falcons overall, I feel like I'm never huge on the Falcons, but like I know their defense suffered a ton of injuries last year, and they really struggled with their O line. So I mean, they drafted 2 guys corners to add to their secondary, and their defensive players are going to be back and healthy. Their O line's better, so I think they could be pretty good this year.
Yep, I agree. Let's move on. Dwayne Haskins.
Dwayne Haskins, yes. So this is interesting how he fell this far to the Redskins because a lot of people thought he would go to the Giants or even like the Bengals possibly or the Dolphins.
Yeah,
interesting first round out of an overall draft out of the Redskins because they go Dwayne Haskins with their 16 or 15.
I just love how he's already hating on the Giants for not taking him.
Yeah,
it's just gonna make such a great rivalry just to start out, and like he already said it himself, like he put the league on watch. So and good for him. Get some haters, so you can go out there and prove them wrong. So. Dwayne Haskins, a lot of people liked him, a lot of people didn't like him. He's not an amazing athlete, so a lot of people aren't, quick to make him the first overall pick in the draft like Kyler Murray was. But if they like him, then, he's more of a pocket passer, which is, a good thing. The last two Super Bowls, you could argue, had 4 pocket passing quarterbacks in Tom Brady twice and Jared Goff and Nick Foles. So
true.
You can't say that it's not. He's gonna have to do what he can do with his game, which is being a pocket passer. So he's got to be accurate, and I think he's gonna get a good opportunity with the Redskins.
Yeah, he's a big guy. He's 6'3", but still he's 230. That's a heavy quarterback, it's like Big Ben-esque where he can deal with pressure. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. I mean, obviously Alex Smith is probably done for his career.
Yes,
if I have to predict.
I mean, it could be he's gross injury.
Yeah.
And apparently he got an infection.
Oh.
So I don't. Best of luck to him.
Yeah.
But, the Redskins moving on, taking Dwayne Haskins, and also trading back into the first round to get Montez Sweat, which is a big move. Who did they trade to get that pick from? At 26, I feel like it could have been maybe the Seahawks or something, but...
Yeah, it was a Seahawks pick.
That was a good move. He definitely fell. He had some character issues, I know.
No, it was he had a heart condition.
Oh, he had a heart condition.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
That's why he fell.
Okay. Well.
So he's better than a 26 overall, but yeah, the health condition. I mean, I don't know. A lot of this, I don't know.
There are question marks. Yeah. But when he's on the football field, he's a great.
Yeah, he can make it. He can be a great addition. Something else I want to talk about was they drafted in the 4th round running back out of Stanford, Bryce Love. So now they got a backfield with a lot of injuries looming. So Bryce Love, he was great prospect before last year, but decided to stay and got injured. So he's dealt with a lot of injuries throughout his college career. AP is old; he's like 34.
Yes.
He deals with injuries like almost every week. Darius Geis out for the year last year. So I mean, a very injury-riddled backfield. So a lot of talent, but very injury-riddled. So I mean, we'll see how that shapes up. Um, yeah, not much else going on here.
Yeah, I don't love Terry McLaren, and they took him in the third round,
Oh,
12
yeah,
overall. To me, I thought that was a little high, but
yeah.
we'll see.
They draft two wide receivers, Terry McLaurin, and the third at Ohio State, Kelvin Harmon. NC State, don't know much about him. In the sixth, a team that really needs some weapons on offense. They got
hmm
Paul Crowder's gone. Paul Richardson they still have.
Yeah.
Josh Doxson, that's probably it.
Oh my God.
That's not great.
Terrell Pryor. Is he still playing, man?
I don't know. Yeah, so
Maybe.
I don't see them doing much this year.
No, yeah, they're in a tough spot. They're in a downward spiral.
I guess we'll move on to the
Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, Panthers. They get Brian Burns, outside linebacker out of Florida State. He's a very good pass rusher. He's gonna help out this defense. This already good defense a lot this year. Let's just look at how they're looking like overall. I know they drafted so they draft Greg Little, offensive tackle. He's solid.
Trade
second
up
round.
in the second round to get
Yeah, true. And then the third round they go Will Grier, quarterback out of West Virginia. I like Will Grier. He's had a good pro day. I know. I think I just kind of question this move though, because like Newton's injury could, I don't know if it's gonna keep him out for this season or part of the season or whatever, but like I feel like they should have traded for a quarterback, like a 1-year quarterback as like a placeholder, because like Will Grier, he's obviously a young quarterback, and I think he has potential to be a franchise quarterback somewhere. I think they should have gone with a kind of like a placeholder backup type quarterback for this year, not drafted a quarterback for the future. Because Cam's not only like 29, I think. Like he still has like several years ahead of him. So I kind of question getting him here. But
maybe if they like him, then to go after him. But yeah, we'll see. I did like him. He's all right. I mean, he's 20. I think he's older. He stayed, right. He's a senior in college.
Is he? He could be.
So I mean, he's a little more weathered. I know he's a kid as well. So he's a mature man. So I mean, best of luck to him. Jordan Scarlett out of Florida, running back in the 5th round. They just addressed really just everything in this draft. A couple of linebackers.
True, yeah.
I mean, they didn't. I mean, they went O-line. They did not discriminate when it came to positions in this draft. So Carolina Panthers, tough division really with the Cardinals, Saints, and
true. Yeah.
Or not the Cardinals, the Falcons, Saints, and who's the last team in their division?
Bucks.
Yeah. But we'll see.
Who we got next?
Dexter Lawrence.
Yeah, we already talked about the Giants. So.
Yeah, the Giants. Well, this is the pick I thought that they could have potentially gotten Daniel Jones at, or if they had some kind of intel that was either correct or incorrect about the Washington wanting to take Daniel Jones, they could have hopped over the Redskins here,
right?
Potentially with the Falcons or the Dolphins or somebody.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. It's frustrating, but Dexter Lawrence, a part of that Clemson line, so he could be very good.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've already gone through the Giants, so.
So next, the Vikings go Garrett Bradbury, center out of NC State for center. Off the board. Let's just take a look at how they did overall.
Their offensive line needed some help. Definitely, not a bad spot. Fixing up the center position. Really the anchor of a line.
Interesting how they go tight end in the second because they have
Irv Smith.
They have
he was decent.
Kyle Rudolph. He didn't have a great year statistically last year, but yeah, that's interesting there. Who else? They go running back in the third, which is kind of interesting. Oh yeah, so I guess he could be their RB2 because
could be.
Latavius Murray's not with them anymore.
Dalvin, so
yeah, and Dalvin has some injuries in the past, so maybe this
Alexander Madison
out of Boise State could get some action. A lot of picks they had this year. Well, like 4 7s, 3 6s, the 5th, 4th. Yeah, first through 5th. They have all of them, and then 3 6 and 4 7. That's a pretty loaded.
Yeah, they.
Pretty much similar to who we just talked about, the Panthers. They kind of addressed everywhere. Going off the top of my head, I really don't think they have many a specific need I can think of. Yeah, they kind of just
Their
like
defense is pretty set, but
yeah.
I mean, didn't they let Sheldon Richardson walk?
I
So I think
yeah. I don't know.
well, either way, I mean their defense is getting another year older. So
True. Yeah.
I mean they just had to address positions they thought
Yeah.
or do whatever they thought was best, and Irv Smith Jr. in the second round was apparently that.
Long snapper out of Air Force
Wow.
was their last pick in the 7th round. All that's written about him is pre-draft analysis. Cutting, his name's Austin Cutting. Cutting is an accurate snapper who puts good zip on the ball.
That's all you can ask for.
Yeah, that's great
That's
analysis.
sick.
All right, so I guess we move on. Jeffrey Simmons, not tight end, defensive tackle out of Mississippi State, goes to the Titans at 19.
He had some good ratings by PFF.
Yeah.
Another great defensive tackle, and their
so many
defensive
defensive
line
tackles.
draft.
Yeah.
Like God, I mean it's just loaded with them this year. And,
yeah. Yeah, big name to go to.
AJ Brown in the second round.
Yeah, I love AJ Brown. I think he's my favorite receiver in this draft. I know you said you didn't like this spot for him, but
I didn't love the Titans grabbing him, but
I know. Well, Mariota isn't a great quarterback for a guy like AJ Brown, but I mean he could emerge as a wide receiver one. Like he's more talented than like the guys has to compete with for targets. I mean I know they drafted Corey Davis highly in 2016, I think, but he hasn't produced much. And they haven't had much production out of any other receivers in the past few years. So A.J. Brown could get some decent action this year. So
yeah, I like him. I just didn't love the location where he was drafted. So Nate Davis, an offensive guard, in the 3rd round, 18th pick. Amari Hooker, safety out of Iowa. Titans, their defense I think was pretty.
Yeah, they got a good
okay
defense
last year. So.
Yeah. They added 2 offensive. Nope, not offensive. Outside linebackers.
Well, so they, they're trying to turn the corner, and Mariota is really, he's gonna have to take them. He's gonna have to take them there.
Yeah,
if he can. So,
yeah, pretty. They're pretty dependent on him. I mean, he's not an outstanding quarterback. He's had better years and some pretty bad years, but.
He's a very interesting player because he's not gonna blow up the stat sheet, but he can win you games. It's very interesting. It's very interesting dynamic with him, but yeah, it's tough to say that he's gonna get him AJ Brown the ball.
Yep,
which is rough. Here with the 20th pick, trading back to where the Steelers originally were.
Right.
The Broncos take Noah Fant. So funny how Iowa produces now tight ends like.
Yeah,
like this, the top 2 tight ends drafted in this draft were both out of Iowa,
in the
same
first
school,
round. That's
in the
crazy.
first school.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely the first time it's ever happened.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a tight end and you're listening, go to Iowa because they produce some good NFL prospects.
Yeah, so I really like the Broncos draft because a lot of mocks and experts had them drafting Drew Lock at 10 at their first rounder. But they traded the Steelers out of that, get Noah Fant. He could be a solid piece. And then they got their guy, and then in their second rounder at 9, 2-9, they get an offensive tackle.
And then they trade the very next pick to get Drew Lock.
Yeah, so like they traded. They got more capital and still got the guy that I guess they wanted. I know LA does love Lock, so. Good, solid draft out of them. I mean, they didn't have too many picks. They did trade a lot.
Yeah, it's very interesting. They had 2 seconds and a 3rd, but no 4th and no 7th. So
yeah,
Denver's it's kind of rough. I mean, they got to pull another Philip Lindsay out like they
did. Yeah,
like they did last year.
I guess we'll skip the Packers.
Yeah, Darnell Savage Jr. He's a good player. 21. The Philadelphia Eagles trade with. Was it it was the Baltimore Ravens to get the 22nd pick to hop 1 spot in front of the Houston Texans. Definitely a strategic move because the Texans, I mean, they need offensive linemen more than probably any team in the league. And So
Yeah.
you didn't need any intel on that one.
And I know they specifically like Dillard too.
And really, Dillard and the guy that the Texans took, Titus Howard, a lot of these offensive linemen, fell because so many defensive players went before them.
True.
So, I think it was definitely a good decision to do by the Eagles. Securing up that tackle spot, Jason Peters, he's not going to be It's surprising to me he's still even in the league right now, but
yeah, he's old.
He's old. He's not going to be able to put in 16 games. So, I mean, you might even want to get Andre Dillard in there.
Yeah.
To start. We'll see. It'll be really interesting. But yeah, really the second round picks are what I found so interesting. I never would have expected the Eagles to take a running back and a wide receiver in the second round. Not Howie Roseman, but he did. Miles Sanders out of Penn State, backing up Saquon Barkley, who his highlights were, they weren't Saquon Barkley's, but they were very impressive and very similar. He can catch the ball out of the backfield, and he can make big plays. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside coming out of Stanford. He is Doug Peterson. He is exactly what Doug Peterson wants in Philadelphia. He will rebound. He will position himself to get the ball just about better than anybody. He is Zach Ertz. He is Dallas Goedert. He's one of those guys who just go up and gets it, and he's got speed too, which is very, very interesting and adds. Honestly, I don't want to throw out names like Mike Evans, but he is very similar to Mike Evans because he's a very tall, lanky guy, and he uses his body so well to go up and get the ball, which is something that I know the Eagles coaches love. Very interesting that they went Sharif Miller, another Penn State player, and then Clayton Thorson, a quarterback out of Northwestern. And we only had 5 picks this draft, so
yeah.
Interesting that they went quarterback in the 5th round. I never really thought they would have done that, but
yeah, I guess
we'll see.
As a safety for if Wentz goes down, they don't have Foles there.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of Thorson, to be honest. I watched him play a few games this year. They played Notre Dame. I watched him play, and he could be a solid backup. But again, they don't need him to be their franchise quarterback, so that's fine. The only thing I kind of question here is that I'm not a big fan of the Miles Sanders pick in the 2nd round. After trading for Jordan Howard, they still have Clement. How much production you're gonna?
Clement is hurt. He is hurt
for a while, or
I know his knees are. I don't know, but he could be ready for the season. But
okay,
I know that he has had some knee issues.
Yeah, so I didn't know that, but if all 3 of them are healthy, I just feel like getting a 2nd rounder and their backfield now has 3 talented players in it. So we'll see. They'll probably be fine though. I guess we'll move on to the Texans, who they jumped to get Dillard. They draft offensive tackle Titus Howard out of Alabama State. What we said before, that they really needed some O-line to protect Deshaun Watson and to help out their run game. They didn't draft they drafted one in the 7th round, which I don't even heard of him. His name
running back,
Cullen Gillespie.
Texas A&M.
So I guess they're gonna roll with Lamar Miller still, who hasn't really impressed me these past few years. He could be solid though, who knows? But they drafted 2 linemen. In the 2nd round, they get Max Sharping, Northern Illinois offensive tackle. Not too exciting here. A lot of 2 offensive tackles, defensive end. Let's see. How did the Texans do last year? Oh, they were pretty. They made the playoffs.
They did.
Yeah, they got blown up by the Colts. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with the Texans
really down the end of towards the end of the season. They just could not block anyone.
Yeah, that's why that's why I forgot they made the playoffs. I feel like they didn't really have a complete season. So who knows about the Texans this year?
Yeah. Josh Jacobs then went next to 24.
Right, which we talk with the Raiders. And then 25, we got Marquise Brown, Oklahoma wide receiver, cousin of Antonio.
Going to Baltimore.
The Ravens.
Very interesting.
Yeah, so they draft 2 receivers. And they drafted Notre Dame, Miles Boykin in the 3rd, I believe. So two great offensive weapons for a quarterback that they haven't been throwing downfield too much with.
I know that's what I
Yeah.
found interesting with the Marquise Brown selection
Yeah,
because he is a deep threat guy, very fast.
yeah,
Just it's not very often that Lamar Jackson is throwing the ball downfield, so we'll see. It's rookie year for Lamar, so
yeah,
don't want to be too hard on the guys, but he definitely wants to get some. Definitely wants to throw the ball better this season, and
yep,
maybe getting Miles Boykin and Marquise Brown is one way to do that.
yeah. Something notable I want to talk about was Trace McSorley in the 6th round, which I mean, maybe
Yeah.
they kind of see. A lot of people are thinking that. I mean, when you run the quarterback that much, they typically don't last very long in the NFL. So like,
Gonna
bringing
need a
in Trace
backup.
McSorley kind of makes sense if like they might need a quarterback in case Lamar goes down or if he doesn't like last too long, which that could be likely. And I don't know. I'm still not a big. I'm not a big fan of Trace McSorley, but yeah, I guess that must be why they drafted him there. It was the last pick in the 6th round. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, running back they get Justin Hill, Oklahoma State.
Yep.
Let's see, Collins is still there, right? Alex Collins.
Alex Collins is still there, yes.
And then, yeah, so their backfield isn't like they don't have like a
Javorius
stud.
Allen. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're not. There's nothing
They
much
still
there.
have Gus Edwards.
Ben Powers in the 4th round. He was the first draft pick made from Braille.
Oh yeah, I didn't know it was him, but I saw the pick.
That was very cool.
Yeah.
The little kid who read it from Braille. Ben Powers, Oklahoma guard. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I'm in Marshall. They had 3 4th rounders.
Oh wow.
Quarterback. Yeah, they lost their defense did take a hit this offseason, so
True.
but they usually draft defensive players pretty well. So.
They lost Suggs. Lost Weddle. I mean, those guys were
and
both.
they lost Mosley. CJ
And Mosley, yeah. Mosley's old, right? Older.
No, CJ Mosley. Well, Suggs is older than Mosley.
I know Weddle's pretty old.
I think Mosley was 29.
Okay.
So, I mean, but he's still really good.
Yeah. So, I mean, a team that they thrive on their defense really carries them. They lost some defensive players and added a few.
Added a couple.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens there. I hope they don't turn out very well. Let's see. Next we were talking about the Redskins.
26.
Also talked about the
probably a good pick there.
The Raiders.
Jonathan Abram.
Yeah.
He's good. I mean, I would have thought they would have taken him here at 24, but I guess they like Josh Jacobs better.
Yeah.
Jerry Tillery.
Yeah, so the Chargers are up next. They went Jerry Tillery, defensive tackle at Notre Dame, at 28. I love Jerry Tillery. I watch him all the time. He's huge. He's like 6'7". He's gonna be 6'7", 295. He's gonna be a great addition to that already solid defense. I think I like their draft overall. They got Jerry Tillery with their 1st rounder. Nasir Adderley, Delaware safety. He's a hard hitting, very versatile defensive back. He's gonna be a great paired with Derwin James in their secondary. And then they go Drew Tranquill, another Notre Dame defensive player, inside linebacker, and I mean I think he was one of our best players on defense. And we had a pretty loaded defense. He's very athletic. He battles some injuries, but like he plays through a lot of injuries, and like he still produces a ton. He's insanely smart too. He had a 4.0 in mechanical engineering and the captain of our defense. Like that, I intelligence like that. I just feel like, he's like
diagram plays out before they happen.
Yeah, like I think that he's gonna be good in the NFL. Hey, wait, the Chargers still have Teo?
Manti Te'o? Oh, I don't know. He went to the Saints. He went to the Saints at one point.
Yeah. That would have been funny. Drew Tranquill and well, 2 Notre Dame legends in linebacker. But yeah, so their first 3 out of the first 4 picks go to their defense, which this defense is going to be great next year.
Yeah, it is, and it's already pretty good, and their offense is pretty good.
Yeah, so the Chargers, I think, could has a chance to take this division with the Chiefs losing Hunt and Hill.
Yeah.
So
Patty Mahomes is going to put the team on his back.
Very interesting to see what happens there in that division. Next pick we got the Seahawks pick defensive end LJ Collier.
See
Say that right?
I think so.
Let's see. Let's take a look at overall. I mean, obviously they got DK with the last pick in the second round. Where are we at? Oh, here we go. There was a pick in between that two.
Yes.
Marquise Blair, safety out of Utah. So they're adding their defense, which had some holes in it. And the safety position, I don't know what's going on with Earl Thomas.
Didn't he
He's
leave?
gone. Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah.
I mean, so
I'm just trying to find somebody now.
yeah, he didn't sign anywhere, did he?
He did. He signed. I can look it up. I'm looking that up, but
look that up. But let's see. Overall, they got DK Metcalf's gonna DK Metcalf and Gary Jennings Jr. West Virginia wide receiver.
Baltimore.
Oh, okay, that's right. I knew that.
Okay.
So, I mean, the report came out right before the draft that Doug Baldwin could be done for his career out of nowhere.
Oh my God.
So they drafted two receivers to three receivers. Sorry, Hawaii receiver John Ursua. Adding those three guys to help out Russell Wilson, who's already throwing to Tyler Lockett. That could help him.
They're in a tough division, so I mean,
they didn't
gotta
go.
Hope that a lot of these picks turn out.
Yeah, they didn't go O-line either. Really, they got one offensive lineman, which that's what they needed.
Yeah, it feels like for years they need O-line, but
yeah,
haven't really addressed it. So they trust Russell Wilson.
True, that'll be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about the Giants and the Falcons.
Baker and the Falcons.
So I guess we'll wrap this up with the last pick. The New England Patriots select Arizona State wide receiver N'Keal Harry.
Yes.
I think this is a great pick for them. They're losing Gronk.
Yep.
Chris Hogan.
Yep.
Josh Gordon's gone. I don't know what's going on with him. He's gone.
Yeah.
They need a big target. I said that. Chris Hogan's gone. I said that.
Chris Hogan's
gone. N'Keal Harry, 6'2", 228. He's a great receiver.
Mm-hmm. He can run the route tree. He can go up contested, get balls. He made a lot of crazy one-handed highlight catches. Yeah. I was really surprised the Patriots took him. He did come out like the day before the draft and say that he wasn't going to go past 33. So they must have told him something. He knew.
Yeah.
So I mean, the Patriots usually don't draft a guy like this real high, so it's interesting when they do.
Yeah.
I think that bodes well for N'Keal Harry. He's gonna get open and he's gonna get looks because of Tom Brady. So
yeah, there's a guy that can produce fantasy.
It'll be interesting to see how good he turns out to be because I mean I think he's in a better position than Marquise Brown was, or that is, being that Marquise Brown has Lamar Jackson as his quarterback. N'Keal Harry, I mean, there's just a lot of balls to be caught, so,
he could be that guy.
He could be that guy, and, they don't draft these kind of guys real early, does Bill Belichick, so.
True.
We must trust him.
Cordell Patterson's gone, too, so that's another target that.
Oh, wow.
Another receiver he has nothing to compete with, so.
But, yeah, moving on, they did draft Jojuan Williams out of Vanderbilt.
I don't know who their other cornerback is. Stephon Gilmore was one of the best corners last year, so I guess they're going to be pretty locked there. Interesting they went with that in the second round, but then they go Damian Harris with one of their three thirds.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a big fan of Damian Harris, to be honest, and I'm kind of questioning why they got him because they have Michelle and James White. I mean, that two-headed monster was very helpful and dominant for them last year. I don't know why they want another, but I mean, I guess they love having four running backs that can produce. So who knows? But and their fifth rounder. They traded into the fifth round to draft a punter.
Yeah, they traded the Eagles to get the 25th pick and take Jake Bailey out of Stanford.
Yeah. I guess they kind of went a lot of different. They had a lot of picks. I think it was 10 or something.
3 seconds, 2 fourths, 2
fifths. They kind of went a lot of big spread of positions they got. They went receiver, corner, DN, running back, offensive tackle, offensive guard, quarterback, D tackle, punter, and then the only repeat was a cornerback, the 7th round. So pretty spread there. Patriots probably gonna go 12-4 again.
Likely for them to win it again.
I guess we could talk. I don't know much about this Jarrett Stidham, quarterback out of Auburn.
Yeah.
Could be Brady's predecessor, but
yeah, look at 10 years later, he'll be the GOAT. So
yeah,
just like that, bang, just because they drafted him. So
Yeah. I guess that wraps up our
Kind of wraps it up. What team do you think did the most with their spot? Who do you think got the best player at their spot?
Well,
Most likely going to have to be in the top 10.
yeah.
I would say probably Josh Allen to the
I'll
Jacksonville
go with Josh
Jaguars.
Allen as well. I mean, I'm biasly leaning towards Ed Oliver and Devin Bush.
Yeah, no, both
But-
very good picks. Yeah,
But I think Josh Allen is the right answer here because he could have definitely been a top 3 pick and he fell into their laps at 7 and he's
Yeah.
going to be a great addition to that defense.
All right. Well,
Yeah, I guess that's it for us here.
man.
Kind of went pretty long, but
it's all right.
yeah,
Yeah, nice NFL draft. This is definitely one of the best parts about the NFL offseason.
yeah.
You never
great.
know, because like, hey, we could look back and a bunch of 6th-round dudes could be really great, and a bunch of
That's right.
dudes in this first round could be awful.
And some undrafted guys.
Yeah, true. That we're not even talking about, and who aren't even on the radar yet.
Did Phil Lindsay go undrafted?
You went undrafted.
And yeah, I mean,
He went to Colorado, so
Yeah.
signed with the.
yeah, that's what happens. A lot of the undrafted
The
guys
Broncos.
sign with local teams.
Mhm.
So yeah, I guess that wraps up our episode here. You can follow the show
Yep.
on Instagram at Hog Line Podcast. You can follow us. Tyler's at Tyler Brackman on Instagram. I'm at _Jack.miss_ on Instagram. And yeah, I guess that wraps it up here. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me, Jack.
Yeah. See you guys.
See ya.